Committee will reconvene. Mr. Massie, you will continue your questions.
Thank you. Let me take a step back. The trip down to vote and back was good. The question isn't, are vaccines good or are vaccines bad for you? It's not my position to advise somebody to take a vaccine or not to take a vaccine. And that's not what this bill is about. This bill is about, should the U.S. maintain a policy that's out of step, out of date with the rest of the world? The virus is endemic. Every other reasonable free country in the world has dropped this provision. And the question isn't whether you've taken one vaccine or two vaccines or five vaccines. The question is whether somebody coming to the United States should be forced 3 years into this pandemic to take a vaccine in order to visit their loved ones or to spend their money at Disney World. And the U.S. Travel Association came out with a statement in support of this bill. It says, every day this policy remains in place, encourages some travelers to avoid the United States, costing valuable visitor spending and delaying our efforts to reignite inbound travel. That's an association that's responsible for promoting travel to the United States, comprised of a bunch of different industries. We're hurting our own travel industry. But I'm not worried about the economics of this as much as I am about the families who are being separated. There are people in this country who, if they leave this country, they can't come back without being vaccinated. So I'm getting messages from people who haven't seen their family in 3 years. Families not able to come and visit them. But by the way, there's no religious exemption in this policy. Unlike all of the other vaccine policies that we've seen that apply to U.S. citizens, there's no religious exemption in this one. So we have separated families. We've kept people out of this country. We've kept people in this country because they don't know that they could get back in. It's an outdated policy. Unless you're the United States, Myanmar, Yemen, Azerbaijan, or Libya, it doesn't make sense anymore. If you're Japan, Italy, Spain, Canada, United Kingdom, Israel, Germany, France, Australia, Brazil, Taiwan, you understand that this isn't good for families. It's scientifically, it's not protecting your population any. The virus is going to travel. New variants are going to travel whether or not certain people are vaccinated anymore. In fact, we've already dropped the testing requirement. There's no testing requirement to come into the United States. If you were truly trying to stop the spread of a virus, I think you would have a testing requirement or have some kind of, as they did in the beginning of all this, before they found out they couldn't stop the spread, have some kind of quarantine period. That's not what this is about. This is about getting rid of an antiquated policy that might have made sense a couple years ago, but now that we've got a virus that's endemic, now that we know it's going to spread, regardless of whether people have had vaccines or not, now that we know we're keeping families separated, now that we know we're the only country, I guess we're still free, the only country in the free world that has this policy, it's time to get rid of it. And so I support the rule, I support the bill, and I yield back to the chairwoman.